Bloomberg Audio Studios. Podcasts, radio, news.
Single best idea. The heart and heritage of what we've been doing for years is to keep track of our good guests and understand we have levels of guests and people just coming up, kids right out of school. They've never been on radio or TV before, and grizzled veterans and all. And of course, people that, they just get older and move on. And the answer is, in times like this, you try to go to experts. The first call that we made yesterday was to Angela Stent of the Brookings Institution. Her book, Putin's World, was my book of the year, I think 3 years ago. I selected my book of the year that year in late February when there was an invasion of Ukraine. Here is Angela Stent on the shocking headline that the United States of America joined Russia at the United Nations.
This was truly shocking. I mean, who did we veto the resolution condemning Russia with? Our good friends, North Korea, Russia, Belarus, Syria, the Central African Republic, Nicaragua. I won't go on. Even China and Iran abstained from that vote. So Ronald Reagan would be turning in his grave, as would many others. It's really quite remarkable. And if you think of what the U.S. has stood for, for the past 80 years since the end of World War II, through the Cold War, through the post-Soviet era, it's quite remarkable that we veto a resolution that condemns the Russian invasion of Ukraine.
Angela Stent of the Brookings Institution. We continued on with there are many different paths to take here. A movable feast of news. By the time you hear Single Best Idea, you know what? The news may have changed. More with Angela Stent.
I think that the Trump administration is still believing, for instance, that if we have this rapprochement with Russia, Russia will decide to distance itself from China and will reverse course. I think that's highly unlikely, but I think that's one thing that's going on here. And I think it's also the U.S. trying to show to those countries that supported us, and I guess those who abstained, that, we're not necessarily taking sides in this. We recognize that Russia is a great power, and we're going to try and do something different.
Angela Stent, I'm sure we'll be speaking to her in the coming weeks. This is a heritage of the program that goes back to the late Marshall Goldman of Wellesley and Harvard, all the work we've done over the years on Russia. And to see where we are now, we can only call upon Henry Winter and the rest of Bloomberg News with their expertise on Moscow. And of course, these experts like Dr. Stent. Again, her book is Putin's World. On your commute across the nation, good morning to all of you, particularly 99.1 FM in Washington and 92.9 FM in Boston. On YouTube, subscribe to Bloomberg Podcasts, and we're out on YouTube Podcasts. Single Best Idea.